Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? My name is Tony Rosano, and this is episode 200 of the world famous Universal Love podcast, also known as Online Marketing Moves. And we are coming to you live today from the great city of Atlanta, Georgia. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a special broadcast today. We have our first guest. Of course, this is going to be the prettiest guest that we have on the podcast. I might be a little biased, but she's also my beautiful wife, who you have heard a few times mentioned on the podcast. But for the first time ever, our first guest, our very first special guest, ladies and gentlemen, it's Miss Kia Rizano.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Now, we are going to talk about Miss Kia because she is a business owner of a very popular place. Of the Young Chefs Academy of Sandy Springs, Georgia. She has been owning that for the last, what do you say, 5 years, 6 years?
Yes, 5 years. Almost 6.
Now, I know we talk about a lot of online marketing on here, but today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk to a person that owns a brick and mortar business. So, first off, hello, Miss Kia Rizano. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for finally having me on the show. Just like Mr. Rosano said, this is his 200th episode. And as his wife, I think I found out about it maybe episode like 60, which I was a little like about because I thought you should share everything, but he wanted it to be a surprise. So finally I was asked to be a guest, and luckily it's the first guest, because if it wasn't, that would have been an issue as well. So hi, everyone.
Well, first off, we all know that's not very accurate, but we want to miss Key to be a guest a long time ago, but we finally got around to it. But today we are going to talk about owning a franchise, owning a brick and mortar business in the year of 2021. So, first off, Miss Kia, how's it going with your business?
How's it going? I will say it's going. I will say that I'm blessed to have survived so far with everything with the pandemic, COVID going on, and that my business, again, it's Young Chefs Academy of Sandy Springs. So it is a cooking school where the general public can come in and take cooking classes. So just like the restaurant business in general, I was definitely hit hard by this, and I had to be extremely creative on how we could keep our doors open, but then also at the same time keep everyone safe, myself included, my staff, and then the general public. So we had to really change our format of how we taught our cooking classes before, to a social distance environment, mask required. I cut down my numbers substantially as far as how many people we allot into each of our kitchens. So, again, we're surviving, definitely not making profit pre-COVID as much as pre-COVID, but we're here and we still have a lot of fun days and a lot of challenging days.
Oh, well, that's great to hear. So, first off, let's backtrack. What age did you decide that you want to become a culinary in that you want to get started in the culinary field?
Well, I always was a I guess, proclaimed chef ever since I was little. So my actual business name, I call it's Culinary Kid, because even before it was cool to cook, even before the fad on Food Network and Master Chef Junior and all that stuff, that was completely me. So my mom gave me the chore of cooking when I was like as young as like 7, 8 years old. I was in the kitchen frying chicken and baking baked ziti and lasagnas and all of that kind of stuff. So it became second nature to me. And then as far as career wise, I wanted to do something where I knew I was going to have fun doing it. So I went to culinary school, the Art Institute of New York City, and then the Art Institute of Atlanta. That's kind of how I met you.
Well, first off, what state are you from?
I am from New Jersey. I'm
Mm,
a Jersey girl.
well, not anymore, but okay.
Yeah, well, now I claim Georgia, but you asked where I'm from, and I'm from New Jersey. The Jersey Shore.
The Jersey, sure.
Yes.
Uh,
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
name one thing you miss about New Jersey.
I miss my family. My brother lives in New Jersey, so that's my one thing.
You didn't bring up our nephew. You don't miss.
Well,
I'm,
he comes along with it.
I'm just kidding.
My nephew, I love him.
I'm just kidding. Okay, now
And my sister-in-law and all of our family in New Jersey. That's who I miss. That's what I miss.
let's get into your business.
Uh-huh.
Now, you took over the business what 5 years ago?
Yes. So I worked there when I was in college, and there was a one of my school friends. She was actually the manager there, and she says, "Oh, you should work at Young Chefs Academy." And at first, I was like, "No, that's insulting. I'm a classically trained chef. I don't really want to work with kids and all that kind of stuff." But then I went there, and just saw the type of culinary that we teach. It's real culinary. We just do it in an age appropriate way. We do classes for ages 3 on up to adults. And like my last class, I made pasta from scratch. With like 5-year olds. And then the class after that, we had an adults only class, BYOB, where we were doing Southern tapas. So it's just a lot of fun. I like teaching. My mom was a teacher, and it's just a way to be able to be involved completely in culinary, and it's not mundane. I'm always doing something different. I hope I answered the question because I was kind of like rambling.
No, you didn't really. But
Okay, wait. So I'll go back. Wait, so you asked me how did I get into it?
no, I was gonna ask you the first year, like what was something that you learned? What are two things that you learned in the first year of running a business?
Oh, well, yeah, definitely a lot because before I was always,
Two things.
as you say, in the front of the house. So I was teaching all the classes.
Mhm.
So the two things that I learned in my first year was my business is definitely like a hustle business. You have to have your marketing down pat because we do lots of workshops where we have a theme per class, and then we have to market for that class, to get people to sign up and pay for it. So you really have to hustle to get the word out there, that I'm having, this class in particular. Maybe like, for instance, we have a class, a pie workshop on March 14th. So where do I want to market for that class, to fill it up? And so that was just something that I really had to learn because I wasn't really involved in that prior to becoming the owner. And the other thing, from working there to becoming the owner, I had to start really delegating tasks to other people because I was like running myself ragged trying to do everything. And that
Uh-huh.
was the hardest part for me, was to kind of let go a little bit and uh be a better trainer, because I just sort of kind of put it all on myself, just doing everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so, if you could go back, what's one thing you would change about the start of your business?
If I could go back, um, the first thing that I would do is look into my rental lease agreement more,
Mm-hmm.
with everything that's included in it. It's the little things like when my air conditioner blew, and I just automatically assumed that they would fix it, but that wasn't in my lease agreement, so then I had to fix it. So it's little stuff like that. I would have gotten my attorney more involved in the lease agreement signing. That would be a big thing, and I just didn't know, so I had to learn that the hard way.
Mm-hmm. You live and you learn.
Yeah.
Now, in the five, let's fast forward. So in the 5 years, now it's 2021.
Mhm.
What are your Do you plan on keeping this business? Do you plan on doing other things? What are you trying to, because now it's a whole different ball game with COVID and everything, and we don't know how long that this is gonna last. So what do you think about the future of your business? Do you plan on keeping the franchise, or do you plan on, like, what are your?
That's just a tough question because right now I'm pretty proud of myself that we're still operating and we still have customers and clientele and it definitely not producing the revenues that we were pre-COVID, but I kind of want to like wait it out. I want to challenge myself to keep being creative in this time, and I don't know, just keep working to increase revenue, but again, also staying safe because my business, I make sure that we are strict with the CDC guidelines. So that's kind of where I am now. I just kind of take things, week by week. Um, I don't know if I want to necessarily put my store on the market during COVID. So if I did, it would be after, so that way people could see that even during the rough time we still survived. So then that way I could increase how much I would sell it for.
Mm-hmm.
But as of right now, we're just still pushing, still operating, and still challenging ourselves while remaining safe at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Now, this podcast is about online marketing. So, what are some things that you do to market on the internet?
Sure. So, I mean, I'm trying to say the not say the name of the online marketing strategy or thing that I use because
You,
like we're not getting paid for it.
you can say what you want to say.
So but I don't know what it's called. Okay, I'll just say it. I use a company called Constant Contacts.
And for the record, I brought you in constant contact up before, so.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. And Constant Contacts for me is great because it collects emails. So if I have a certain class or workshop or anything that I want to promote, I have a database of over 10,000 emails that it will go out to. And this is just capturing emails um, from the very beginning. So we have years and years of emails. And then you could even categorize them. So, like, if people signed up for an adults only class, I have a sector of emails from my adults only class, or I have a sector of emails from scouts events, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, kinder cooks, those are ages 3 and 6. So I divide up those emails that way, so then I know how to where I want to send out the email to, and it just enhances my click rate. So I personally like to go with Constant Contacts. Another entity that we use is something called Textedly, and Textedly is a text message blast. So it'll say like looking for some fun social distance. Looking for some social distance fun this weekend, come to our Valentine's Day workshop cooking class. Great for mom and me, dad and me, or family cooking class. And so it's a more of a short text, definitely not long winded. And then it'll say, if you're interested, text this back. And then, they'll get information, or you will get a direct line to one of my staff members and they will answer you back pretty quickly. So I really love the Textedly. Would that be like online marketing? I don't
Yeah,
know. Okay.
yeah. I mean, you texting people, you emailing people. Now,
Yeah.
how often do you email? Because
So,
on this podcast, we sort of preach email. Because I last week I made a podcast about emailing for the next 6 months every day. So how often somebody in your position would email on a regular basis?
we don't do every day. I would say probably once a week, just because for us they are different classes. It's kind of like a different kind of category.
Yeah.
So We don't email every day. The
Mm-hmm.
other type of online marketing that we would use is just social media as well. And social media posts, those will go out every day, but not the emails.
Right, gotcha.
But that's just what we found out works for us. Sometimes you have to try different things. If you're emailing every day, you want to track your click rates and all that good stuff. And if they're going up, then you're doing something good. If they're going down, then maybe you need to pull back or you need to change your heading or something like that.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you: do you look at open rates or do you look at click rate? Click on the link rates. Which one do you
I
focus on more?
Mm. I definitely look at both of them, but the clicking on the link is more important to me because that's step number two.
Yeah, yeah, that's the one where they because me personally, open rate, I don't care about that, but I care about if somebody's clicking on the link or somebody's checking out the the information that you're trying to, the service that you're trying to give somebody. You know what I mean? Like to me, I think click rate is more about getting paid and making sales and stuff like that. Open rate is just
And then also just making sure that you have a catchy heading, a title that's going to make them click on it.
what would be a all right. So let's talk about this. What would be a catchy title for you?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot. A catchy title for me. Um, Maybe something corny like want to tap into your inner chef, or um early bird specials for summer camp, or act now, limited spaces, things like that.
Mm-hmm. The fear of missing out. They
Yeah.
kind of um
Those are always great.
one email I did the other day, I just wrote unsubscribe, and then I got a lot of. I mean, you should try it out. It works. I put unsubscribe, and then in the as the subject line, and then more people. I wrote 3 emails on a Sunday, and then more people opened the unsubscribe email than anything else.
It's funny.
Yeah, because I don't know. Sometimes I think negativity sort of. Well, of course, we're in two different.
Yeah,
You don't want to
two
be
different markets.
two different markets, so you don't want to be negative towards kids and
Mhm.
parents with the whole culinary thing.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying. Now let's talk about, because you are. I heard you on the phone one day, and I was very impressed,
Oh,
and
thank
so I definitely wanted to have your thoughts about making sales calls on the phone.
you.
So how do you go about that? Like, what is some of your techniques that you have picked up over there?
I took a class on it, but a lot of it I actually learned from my mom too. Because my mom was a teacher, and so me and my brother would be around when she would have to do like those, little phone calls at night when you have to call when the teacher has to call the parents about them being bad and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we would just be listening and like laughing and all that kind of stuff, and sort of making fun of my mom, but I learned a lot. So one thing that she always did was, as soon as the parent would pick up, she would put this big smile on her face, and she would talk while she was smiling the whole time. So that's something that I do, and it really does work because it makes you sound very energetic, very cheerful, very excited. So that's one thing. It sounds corny, but it works. And then the other thing is, um, my sales call, I want to make sure that I'm getting to the point very quickly. Don't want it to be too long winded.
Right.
When they call, I ask them specific questions to answer that question quickly, because sometimes they just want to call and they say, "Oh, we just want to know about your cooking school." Well, that I could, talk for hours. But then I'll ask them, "Okay, well, is this for you or is this for your child or all of you?" Because we have family cooking classes, we have child only, or we have adult cooking classes. So let's say it's for their child. Okay, well, how old is your child? Because then I'm either going to point them to the direction of kindercooks classes or our older students classes. So I ask the right questions first to get the sale that that they want and that I want.
Mm-hmm.
because each phone call is potential revenue. You have to think of it like that. So the other thing is I don't end the call leaving it up to them, if that makes sense. So what I'll do is say, I can book you for a class now over the phone for you, and that would be easier. Or I can say, I can give you a call back tomorrow after you decide which class you'd want to sign up for, and I can get you signed up. So I don't really, if they call me, I I don't really leave it up to them to go online and sign up for it.
You drive the bus. They don't. You drive the bus. They don't drive the
Yes,
bus.
I drive the bus.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you have to if you're the sale because you are a salesman. If you are the salesman, you're directing them into a certain way. They're either gonna say yes or no, so you don't want to
Yes,
him and her. I got
exactly. Don't leave it up to them. You get the sale, and get the right sale too.
you. Right. I need it. I like that.
Yes, me too. Me too.
Yeah, because I heard you one day. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, my wife is she's very good at that whole sales call thing. As I've mentioned before on this podcast, I've gotten hung up on a few times by my wife. She gets on the phone, makes those sales, boom, boom, boom. So if you should take notes on that if you're gonna take notes on anything on this podcast today.
Mhm. It's also easier because people are calling me more so than me calling them. Sometimes I'll call them to see if they want to keep their membership, or maybe they might have a gift certificate of 3 classes. So
Mm.
on that third class, I want to try to sign them up for the membership after that. So I want to try to give them a deal to entice them to keep going. So I'll talk about what a great job they're doing in class. And then, you know, if you want to continue, this is how you can do it by saving money and blah, 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 all that kind of stuff.
Upselling.
Upselling, all while smiling and just having a good time. Because for me, this is a passion. So when you're having fun with it, they sense that too. If you have a very like monotone voice, or just dull, or if they ask a question and you answer it with a one word answer, you're done. Complete sentences, be very explain it in detail so they can visualize it, but then at the same time, don't overdo it. If
Hmm.
that makes sense.
Now, when you ask potential customers questions, are they more open ended questions, or do you ask more yes or no questions?
I ask only direct questions that is going to get me to the proper class that they would be looking for, or the proper
Mm-hmm.
sale. Are they looking for the membership where they want to come to reoccurring classes? Are they calling from far away and they're only going to be here for a weekend? So then I know that I'm going to direct them to the workshops that we have that weekend. Are they looking for a parent and me class, or are they looking for a private event or a birthday party? So I ask direct questions that's going to get me to a direct sale.
Okay, okay. Well, do you have anything else, or
This was a lot of fun.
you enjoyed yourself?
I did, and I hope this will not be the last time. We're going to check, right, and see um what is it called, cuz I don't know podcast lingo. Like, if you got a lot of views, because I feel like me, hopefully I enhanced your.
Well, the thing about it, well, the thing about this podcast is it's not the listenership today. It's this podcast. We pick up steam from every episode, So today might be 1 or 2, 3, 4, and then next week it'll be more. Next week it'll be more. It'll be more. It'll be more. So there'll be more, and plus we have to do a better job of marketing this podcast, because this is a very good podcast, but I do a better job of marketing. So we will market this episode. If you send it out to your 10,000 constant contact people, since you plug in constant contact, which there will be no link at the end of this show, ladies and gentlemen, for constant contact. So you're on your own, but you send out to your your fan base or whatever, and they might listen.
Yeah, they might. Sounds like a good idea. So
Uh-huh.
the interviewee has a question for the interviewer.
Sure, go ahead.
Are you proud of yourself that this is your 200th episode?
I'm I'm proud of myself. Yes, thank you.
I think I'm proud of you too because you know, are really sticking with this and you seem to really enjoy this and having fun with watching your growers, listen to me, your viewers increase, and that's like really really cool. Because at first, like I think it was on Thanksgiving, we had like a really crazy Thanksgiving, and I'm a chef and my stove was not working. How does that sound? Like that's crazy. So once again, I'm a chef and my stove was not working. So we had all of, you know, this food in the oven and the oven is like shutting off and we're kind of like running around going crazy like trying to figure, you know, stuff out. Am I going to have to go to my job and cook all the food, which I really don't want to do because that's just not fun if you're in there by yourself cooking all the food. Even though if I had to, that would have been a blessing and I would have done it. But then I'm looking for this guy, my husband, I'm looking for him like to see like okay, well what are we going to do next? And then he's recording an episode. So at first I'm like livid, you know, in my head, cursing and all that kind of stuff. Like, is he like serious right now? But then I realized that that's just like dedication and passion. And I held my tongue on that, you know? So I am like proud of you for keeping up. And everybody just keep giving like 5 stars and all that kind of stuff. And what kind of topics would, you know, maybe the viewers want to talk about? And who else should be your whatever
who,
you call it?
who else should be the next guest?
Yeah, there you go.
Well,
Next guest.
we would get into all that, and they know where the email to email.
If there are other females, I have to okay it.
Well,
So we'll see.
on that note, we are going to get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. But I hope you enjoyed this special edition of the podcast. This is the 200th episode, and
200th episode. Shout out to my best friend Allie, who always listens and views. She might be okayed as a guest. I'm sorry. Is that? Can we do shout outs?
You can do.
Boop, shout out.
I mean, you are carrying my baby, so you can do whatever you want to do.
I'm carrying your baby, so I can. You heard that, right? I can do whatever I want to do.
Show world. But anyway, today, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And
the rest of your day.
And as always, we'll be back tomorrow with another hard-hitting episode of Online Marketing Moves. But until then, as always, everybody, peace.